कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, teenager drowns in public swimming pool. COVID-19 puts immunization at risk. An accident lands 12 in hospital.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The body of a 14-year-old student was retrieved from the Suva Olympic pool yesterday after he was found motionless underwater. Police say the victim had accompanied friends and was last seen sitting on the edge of the swimming pool before he disappeared. Attempts to revive him proved futile. He was rushed to the Colonial War Memorial Hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The drowning death toll currently stands at 25 compared to 24 for the same period last year. In response to questions sent by FBC News, Suva City Council Chair of Special Administrators Isikeli Tikonduandua says they are not in a position to comment until the police investigation is complete. More than 10 people fell victim to a land scam at River Road Settlement Narere. Residents Committee President Leone Rocco says thousands of dollars were paid by residents in the belief that they would secure leases over their informal homes. Sanya Nimboila has more.
This was the approval letter given to Rakesh Chand, one of the many families in River Road who forked money after being promised a piece of land.
Came in a government vehicle and they asked us to give them money so that they can find land for us to build our house. We have given the money and we are still waiting. The land they promised was a reserve land.
Ram says he was told to buy building materials in preparation for the lease. He spent $3,000 and never heard back from the alleged scammers.
We gave $150. The man even told us to get our house materials ready, so we bought almost $3,000 worth of house materials. This was the last 3 months and they gave us this approval letter.
Another resident paid $400 and was told to build his house in Osori. River Road Residents Committee President Leone Rocco says all this surfaced after a meeting with the Housing Minister Pramila Kumar.
We had a meeting with the minister and she has clearly stated that there will be no more construction of new houses in River Road. Some of those that have given their money were very much concerned with it because they have given money, so we later found out that it was a scam.
Investigations by FICAC revealed that fees ranging from $150 to $5,000 have been paid by unsuspecting victims of this scam. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
12 people sustained serious injuries following an accident at Nasole Road in Asinu last night. Police say a vehicle driven by a 40-year-old whilst turning into Nasole Road collided with a vehicle driven by a 25-year-old man. The victim was traveling from Suva to Nasole, while the suspect, who was allegedly under the influence of alcohol, was driving towards Suva. The victim, who is a graphic designer living in Wainibula Road, Dambati, had 7 people in his vehicle, including a baby. The suspect, who lives in Valilevu, was driving a rental car with 3 occupants. All 12 are currently admitted at Valilevu Health Centre and the Colonial War Memorial Hospital in Suva. The investigation continues. The COVID-19 pandemic is putting routine childhood immunization in danger. The United Nations Children's Fund in the Pacific has recorded a decline in vaccination as COVID-19 continues to bring about fear and uncertainty. Kelly Vadala reports that Fiji has one of the highest immunization coverage rates globally, and Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wanganabete says we have not lapsed.
The healthcare disruptions caused by COVID-19 could have a devastating impact on child mortality.
We've seen a drop-off, small drop-off, and fear in some corners of mothers being afraid to take their children to get essential vaccines. That's a problem. We know that diseases like measles and other diseases that can be very dangerous for children.
COVID-19 does not erase other diseases and their impact, and the Health Ministry ensures every child gets their full immunization routine.
As soon as a child is born, from the birth registration, we understand where they're going to be going to next in terms of their clinics, their maternal child health clinic, and they're being watched. And if they don't turn up for their vaccination, our teams actually go to their address or calls them and visits them. and tries to understand the reasons why they haven't had their vaccine.
Health Minister Dr. Ifaremi Wanganembete says getting children immunized is part of the law. These vaccines are essential for protecting children from infectious diseases such as measles, rubella, tuberculosis, mumps or polio.
Part of the Child Welfare Act is actually the rights around the child, the rights to health, to education. And using that, we can be able to talk with the parents about the importance of actually making sure that they have immunization.
The World Health Organization says misinformation about vaccines are also adding fuel to the fire, putting young lives at risk. It says the avoidable suffering and death caused by children missing out on routine immunizations could be far greater than COVID-19 itself. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Fijians living in Lautoka and Lambasa are being advised to be alert as the swarming season of Asian subterranean termites has begun. Once termites enter homes, they are likely to shed their wings and form new colonies, destroying wooden structures. Pranita Prakash has the details.
More than 5,000 homes in parts of Lautoka and Lambasa have already been infested by termites over the years.
The Asian subterranean termite is commonly found. It is currently infested in the areas of Lautoka district from we can say Savani to Adrasa, and then in Lambasa we have from Nasekula to Bunika.
BEF Acting Chief Executive Suren Pratap says the damage caused by these termites run into millions of dollars, thus the need to stop it from spreading.
Currently what we are trying to do is we are trying to contain and control this termite within the infested zone. Also preventing any movement of host material from this area to the outside, because through movement of this host material we can easily spread termite to other parts of the country.
The government has introduced legislation to prevent people from unknowingly spreading the Asian subterranean termites. Moving materials from infested zone to other areas can result in fines ranging from $5,000 to $100,000 depending on the type of offences. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Up ahead, rural development remains a priority, and Arya Sabha commended.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
The government is committed to ensuring that Fijians in the rural areas have access to basic services and infrastructure found in urban areas. This was the comment from Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama while officiating at the commissioning of the water and solar home system projects at Nadavanandi village, Ngau Island, Lomaiviti. Sainiani Boilo reports.
Speaking to villagers of Nadavanandi in Ngau, Bainimarama says he can't stand to see people in urban areas having access to water and electricity while those in remote areas don't have the same.
Fiji will not be successful if a group of people is satisfied with the services provided by the government, while some continue to struggle during their daily living without water or electricity.
Bainimarama says this is why the government is investing in services for rural Fijians.
We are also working on improving ways of communications, especially the internet access for villagers to use services online, such as legal aid, online shopping, and for students to have access to online learning.
Prime Minister also commissioned the Mbulumbatiki Processing Shed project and the Batiki Nursing Station Solar project. He said the people of Mbutiki have shown great resilience against the effects of the pandemic.
We don't have to stay in Suva or Lautoka in order to start a business. This company started in 2017, and after 2 years, Europe markets have opened up to buy Mbatiki pricing products.
Government invested over $75,000 in the construction of the processing shed. Sainiani Boila, FBC News.
The contribution of the Arya Sabha of Fiji in the education sector has been highly commended. While opening the Arya Convention and annual general meeting in Nandi today, Permanent Secretary of the Office of the Prime Minister, Yogesh Karan, says the Sabha has done tremendous work over many years. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The faith-based organization will continue to carry out its educational and social obligations despite the pandemic.
Your work has given Fiji a legacy of innovative, inclusive and empowering education that enables all children to appreciate their inheritance and realize their potential.
Today's AGM will also see the organization appoint for the first time a director of APS education to oversee all school-based operations.
To strategize its operations for the new normal, the Sabha has produced a strategic plan 2020 to 2024 that will be launched here today. This strategic plan is a first for the Sabha. The intent stated in the strategic plan are prods for Sabha members and officials to think outside the box.
We are very pleased to know that the Arya Sabha has worked with the Office of the Prime Minister for many decades, not only by contributing to the Prime Minister's Relief Fund, but more importantly with its support for the not so radical notion ethnic and religious understanding as a cornerstone of any successful nation.
The convention was scheduled for May this year, however was postponed due to COVID-19. Philip Naikaso, FBC News.
A woman who has suffered multiple tragedies from when she was a young child has not let it define who she is. Mother of three, Arun Lata, is testament that adversity can make you stronger and that success doesn't mean avoiding challenges but facing them. In Successful Fijian Tonight, Pranita Prakash brings you the story of a lady overcoming obstacles that would have seen most people give up.
Most of us face difficulties at some stage in life, but Arun Lata's misfortune started when she was still a baby.
But I was told that I was only few months old. According to what I was told, that it was Diwali, a day before Diwali, the Diwali day, my mom's funeral was inside the house.
Today, at the age of 56, Lata has 5 fish ponds on 6 acres of land, having secured a loan from the Fiji Development Bank and collected her retirement funds. Her first large-scale harvest will see 15,000 tilapia fish going to the market as soon as a buyer is ready.
We decided to take loan from FDB and construct ponds all around. And then after that I digged 5 fish ponds and a dam. That's water collection, water source for my dry season.
Lata was raised by her father and grandmother on a dairy farm in Vunindawaneta City. Going to school was difficult, so she was placed in Dilkusha Girls' Home in Savani when she was just 6 years old. Even as an adult, Lata faced issues in her personal life. Married at the age of 17, she came to a point in life where she was ready to end it all by 27.
I did come to a point when I wanted to throw my children into the river and then die. I returned from River Bridge. I took my children up to Dilkusha Girls' Home. I wanted to knock the door and leave them there. Then what will the matron ask and what will be my answer? Then I flash back to my history. My mom had left me and did commit suicide. If I do the same pain will go to my children.
Having found the strength to work for her children's future, she worked in a garment factory and saved up. In 2018, the idea of a commercial fish pond quite literally came to her in a dream.
That I'm throwing the net and the net is full of fish. And then that same day I called my pastor and told about my dreams. And he told me that your prayers is answered. I went to fisheries department. They were so nice, kind. They came, tested the soil, the water source, and the soil type, so the fish can stay in this lane.
She manages a 6-acre farm on her own with occasional help from the fisheries officers while also running a market stall. After enduring so much pain and difficulty, Lata has been able to change her life around. She believes her journey has helped her understand life better. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Ahead in sports, Delta Tigers extend league lead. And discipline worry for Naita Siri. Details after the break.
Pula nadang go approach lang karse, go erkraki. Do televizyon na barong na radio Fijuan, nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1, nandomo ibiti.
Rewa has extended their lead at the top of the Vodafone Premier League standings after beating Nandi 2-1 at Ratadakumbau Park today. The Delta Tigers goals were scored by Tevita Waranivalu and Peniame Ndrova, while Ame Votanui netted Nandi's goal. Here are the goals.
Afraz Ali, Ramzan floats it long and waiting for it, and a mistake by Serevi and Tevita Waranivalu. A beautiful cross there. Simeone Taminisau again lines the wall. Short in the header, Baigan following through and playing it through, and it is Christopher Kumar. Nandi's Christopher Kumar. It spilled out of the hands of Simeone Taminisau. Ame Vutunui, well, let's see who will be the credit. It's Ame Vutunui. Waranivalu. Floats it through, and a header, a lovely header through. A lovely header from Benjamin.
The Flow Valve Silverside has failed to get the maximum 3 points on offer against Lautoka at the NZ Stadium today. The Vodafone Premier League game ended in a 1-1 draw. Karolaini Tavi has more.
Finishing was something that both teams lacked in the first half after failing to register any points. The combination of Patrick Taronga and Felipe Mbara Vilala assisted Sairusi Nalombo with his first goal for the Whites in the 48th minute. Lautoka replied with a goal from Siti Venida Vilangi in the 58th minute for a 1-1 draw. Suva head coach Babs Khan says a lapse of concentration in the first half cost them the game.
You know, you could see them, they were playing one style of football, they're going in the middle and going outside, you know. And our players lost concentration in the first half, and we talked about it, and and we said, this is how we're going to tackle it. And we came back, with creating more chances, and we almost scored,
Lautoka coach Ravinesh Kumar knows the Blues is capable of doing better.
Today we were unfortunate that we did not win, but then it was a good draw. And the players played up to the level, and they are coming in now. I will say Lautoka and the players are coming in now. They've improved in the performance, and game by game I think they will improve.
Suva will take on Navua while Lautoka meet Ba next week in round 11 of the Vodafone Premier League. Meanwhile, in other matches, Lambasa defeated AMPS Industries Nasinu 2-0 at Subril Park. Karolaini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Discipline will be an area the Naita Siri rugby side will be looking to improve before their next Skipper Cup match. The Highlanders yesterday beat Lautoka 25-18, but the side also played with 14 men midway in the first half after Lokdemo Raimbevu was yellow-carded for a late tackle. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Despite their win over Lautoka yesterday, the Highlanders have pointed out an issue which has to be fixed.
Of course, it's discipline. We can't play with like 60 minutes with 14 players. We need to work on discipline. It's a big issue with us now.
The yellow card in the first half also resulted in Lautoka scoring a try and to lead 10-6 at half-time. However, Naita Siri was a different team altogether in the second half, scoring 3 unanswered tries to win the game.
Lots of walk-ons. Our last travel is next week against Nandi, so we have a lot of work to do. It's tough, but you got to stick it in. Like, it's 3 weeks in a row we're coming to the western side.
For Lautoka, the side believes they can still improve and hopefully get a win in their next match.
I don't believe these changes. It's just getting the mindset correct. I think so. What we really lose out in today's game is having a sports psychologist in getting the right attitude and the personality when come 80 minutes.
Naita Siri will play Nandi in their next match while Lautoka face Tailevu. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
One of the teams that is struggling after 8 rounds of the Skipper Cup is Tailevu. The side is 7th on the competition table with 10 points from 1 win, 2 draws and 5 losses. Tailevu's 5th loss came yesterday following their 15-21 defeat to Fairbrother Trophy holders Namosi. 6 more rounds remain and Tailevu has not won any games on their home ground this season. Head coach Samisoni Mbaiketonga says they need to get out from where they are at the moment on the points table.
We are keeping our fingers crossed. We know we are in the bottom 2. And as in the rule book, it's automatically demotion. We don't want to happen to Tailevu, especially on my watch. We'll try our very best to beat Lotoka and to work hard in our next 6 games.
The Boer rugby side put up an improved performance against Maduwata yesterday in the Vanua Championship match at Vuya District School Ground in Nambawalu to record their first win. After their disappointing loss to Ovalau last week, the side bounced back in style with a 31-17 win over neighbours Maduwata. Even their fans know how important and special the win was for the side. Boer coach Epeli Kalo says the next 2 games are important for them.
Everyone's here today saw the result and I'm pleased with the result. We managed to work on our mistakes from the last 3 games and even last week, as I have mentioned, my plan today is just focusing on discipline. And once we focus on discipline, then the result will just speak for itself.
Fijians Frank Lomani, Isi Naisarani and Marika Kroembete couldn't help the Rebels make the Super Rugby AU final. The side lost to Filippo Ndaungunu and the Reds 25-13 in the semi-final last night. Defending champions Liverpool started the new Premier League season this morning with a 4-3 win over newly promoted Leeds United. Mohamed Salah scored a hat-trick for Liverpool. In other results from the NRL, the Titans beat Broncos 18-6 and Roosters thrashed Knights 42-12. The Raiders remain in 5th place on the NRL ladder after their 37-8 win over the Dragons. One of the Raiders' tries was scored by Semi Valeme. And weather, cloudy conditions with brief showers was experienced over the eastern and interior of the larger islands. Mainly fine weather conditions prevailed elsewhere. Quick look at the weather map looking at the west. Fine weather prevailed for most of the day. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, brief showers and cloudy conditions were experienced over major centres. And up north, cloudy conditions in Savu-Savu, while Mombasa had generally fine weather. At sea, a high pressure system to the far south of the country directs a fresh to strong southeast wind flow over Fiji waters. Southeast winds 22-25 knots, rough seas, moderate southerly swells. Turning to the tides, low tide is at 8:46 p.m. with the next high tide at 2:32 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:03 a.m. Now for tomorrow, a mixed bag of sunny weather and brief showers in major centres. And our further outlook, we're looking further on to Tuesday. Expect cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, mainly fine weather elsewhere. And recapping the main stories for tonight, teenager drowns in Suva Olympic pool. Informal settlers lament falling victim to land scam. An accident lands 12 people in hospital. For these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. A poll question we're asking, should manufacturers caught breaching the single-use plastic bag ban be penalised? Visit our FBC website to answer. And send us newsworthy pictures and videos to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable new week ahead. Bye for now.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.